Phantom Lady and Doll Man number 4, written by Justin Gray and Jimmy Palmiotti, art by Kat Staggs. This is the final issue of the miniseries, and we, of course, last issue had the duo fighting Funerella and her army of zombies. And this issue picks up with Phantom Lady and Doll Man getting home, stripping down out of their outfits, and Phantom Lady just pouring herself a couple shots of vodka. And Doll Man's like, okay, clearly you're upset about something. And she's like, why are we putting our lives at risk again? Like, neither of our power sets are really about direct confrontation. We're both better suited to sneaking around. And he's like, didn't you say, like, what would Batman do? And she's like, well, I changed my mind. We're not Batman. We're not able to, like, do that. We literally fought a zombie army. And Doll Man's like, I know, isn't it awesome? We fought a zombie army. That's incredible. And she's like, no, look, we could easily, like, the whole reason that we were doing this was just to go after that one guy, Bender, and, like, get information on him to take him down. I did not sign up to be a superhero. And Doll Man's like, but, like, being a superhero is kind of cool, right? And she's like, do you not see how many shots I'm pouring myself? And she's like, fair. All right. So what do you want to do? She's like, well, let's just go into the office, take what we need, and put it on, like, WikiLeaks or something. And he's like, that's not really admissible in court. Like, that's not a thing. It's like, fine. What if we just put up cameras and record him? And even if it's not admissible in court, like, nobody would want to do business with him because they'll think they're always being recorded. And he's like, all right, that could work. So yeah, let's go ahead and go for it. So she's like, perfect. All right. Yeah, I'm going to go take a shower first, though. And then there's this weird little section where Doll Man's like, can I watch? And then they have a full panel of him just going like, please? And she's like, yeah, sure, whatever. Oh, you can be on the shampoo holder. And he's like, all right, sweet. She's like, no, I'm kidding. I'm not going to let you in the shower, you freaking pervert. And she just takes her panties and throws it at him. Which, this is the most horny book. Anyway, we cut over to downtown Metropolis where Bender's talking to Funerella saying like, hey, they're not dead. What's the deal? And Funerella's like, she cut off my arm. Like, that threw off my game. What do you want me to say? And he's like, oh, I thought you were a professional assassin. Funerella stands up and starts using her powers to, like, rot his desk and be like, that desk cost me $2,000. I hope you know you're going to replace that. And she's like, you paid too much for a desk. And he's like, all you superpowered creeps, you're all, honest to God, I think you all go a little bit crazy when you get superpowers. Even, like, the more normal ones, you're all losing a few IQ points. And we see that Funerella, she's, like, super pissed off, but she's getting a bit woozy. And it turns out that her drink that he gave her was has curare in it, which is a paralytic agent. And he's like, yeah, no, look, I know that I can't kill you. That's part of your power set. But I do have ways of dealing with you and dealing with your failure. And he says, do you remember the old nursery rhyme of Humpty Dumpty and not being able to be put back together again? As we see a group of men in hazmat suits with chainsaws walking in. And so, yeah, they're just chopping her up. And Phantom Lady and Doll Man already have cameras set up. And they're watching all this happen. They're like, all right, we got him. All we got to do is put this online. So they're literally about to upload the footage when the lab is attacked by Bender and his men, who are all wearing, like, exosuits with a bunch of guns and explosives on it. And immediately we have Doll Man saying, like, oh, protect the laptop. We shouldn't have come back here. Oh, geez. And they all start just being blown apart. Like, they are hit on all sides, and they're barely managing to stay alive. And Bender comes up being like, of course I would figure out who you were. How do you, like, you guys were so obvious. It was honestly embarrassing for you. And now I'm going to take care of this so that you and your Halloween costumes aren't going to put me out of business. And Phantom Lady gets up and she wraps them up with her dark powers and just like, you're a dick. You are the worst. You are literally a sociopath. And I genuinely cannot fathom a world where it's better to have you in it. And so she's like, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stop you. I'm not going to kill you, but I am going to stop you. And she uses her darkness powers to, like, put him into the dark for a few minutes. And that is enough to drive him insane enough that he goes essentially brain dead. And so she looks over at Doll Man and she's like, oh no, Dane, wake up, please. I didn't mean to get you involved in all this. And so he wakes up because, of course, he's not dead. And it's just like, yeah, it's over. All right. So we just got to drop him off the police along with the evidence. And immediately Dane's like, we've got a lot of illegal equipment and they're going to want to come see the crime scene. So might not be able to do that. Also, he's brain dead now. To which point, then, they are approached by Homeland Security, who just shows up. Remember they were in like 3 issues ago? Uncle Sam and the Ray? Yeah, they're here now. And they're like, hey, we're here to help. We know that he's been a creep and we've been keeping an eye on you. We want you to help us fight all the things that even the president doesn't know about. And they just start laughing and they're like, you do understand how much of like nearly failures we are, right? And it's like, yes, but given the right training and such, we believe that you would be a valuable asset. So what do you say? And Doll Man, I have a super high-tech lab that can maybe get you back to normal sized. We could use people like you. And so like, all right, so they look at each other and they're just saying like, so we got, yeah, why not? So at that point, Uncle Sammy does the I want you pose and he's like, and I want you to join us in defending the 21st century and I'm not taking no for an answer. And that's the end. So, yeah. Here's the thing. Funerella ended up being nothing. They decided that they don't want to be superheroes and they were like, oh, we could just get footage of them. And then that works. Like, or at least it would have if it wasn't for the fact that they were superheroes to begin with. Like, I don't even know what they were trying to get at with this last issue. And then they became superheroes anyway. It's just all over the place. And I feel like this whole series has been as well. I don't know if it's bad. I don't think it really is a bad series, but it's so almost unfocused, I think is the way. And I think what it really comes down to is the fact that they didn't really ever take time with these characters to have them show that they know how to use their powers. They're just kind of like, hey, let's try this out. And they do it. And that could work, but with how much time is spent here, you would think, no, they probably should have like experimented a little bit. So overall, I can't justify giving this any higher than like a 6. Honestly, I think I'm going to lower it down to a 5.5 just because, I mean, the cover's literally Funerella in the final showdown. And they're just like, yeah, but like, no. She's not a part of this. She just died off screen, if she can even be considered dead. So I'm going to go 5.5. It's an interesting tie-in to the Ray and whatever it is Justin Gray and Jimmy Palmiotti got planned with that. But spoiler alert, it ain't much.